folks, welcome back to the Contrarians. We're going to do a quick recap of the comments and feedback that we've been getting in our videos. This episode, we're going to focus on Rush. Davey Cretan says, I love these episodes even though I often disagree with the contrarian point of view. For future episodes, I would recommend Dream Theater, Threshold, Anthrax, Queensryche, Queen, Heart, Styx, Yes, and Genesis. That's a big list.
Wow.
Keep up the great work, men.
Yeah. That's really cool. Those I would love to do almost every one of those. There's some I couldn't do. I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough on Dream Theater. I mean, we always joke in the rock journalist community like we're always intimidated by Dream Theater. There's just so much to know. Like you almost feel like it's such a mountain to climb. But yeah, Styx, Queen, Queensryche, those would all be cool. So yeah, we can talk amongst the three of us and figure out who is the contrarian, if there is one. You know, we've had bands where we won't do them because we don't have a contrarian. We essentially have, I know we talked a little bit about Led Zeppelin and how, well, we kind of all like Physical Graffiti or Led Zeppelin 4 or whatever. It's like, well, you can't do a contrarians then. So yeah, we'd have that. That's the thing. We have to check and make sure that that we have a good, solid, sincere contrarian in our midst.
Cool. Damian Karras says, yes, finally, my favorite Rush album. I agree that every song is unique and its own island. Surprised you didn't mention the Police and Ultravox influence on this album, especially on Neil, which he freely admits. Moving Pictures is my second favorite, but it is overexposed and overexplained, and Grace Under Pressure is my third. Signals and GUP, Grace Under Pressure, are, I think, Rush's most lush and emotive albums, and the mixes are perfect. Please complain about Alex's lack of playing on these albums, but I think they're nuts. Oh, people complain. These albums just show his versatility and his willingness to put the song first. My favorite band. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's great. I love that lush and emotive. That's a really good comment because they are very emotional. Signals and Grace Under Pressure, and you're right. Neil does freely admit his Police influence. You can hear it all over the place. You know, the main Police influence that exists anywhere really. Stuart Copeland's trademark thing is the independent and complicated hi-hat. You know, and all that going on separate from what he does elsewhere and the rest of the beat, and you know, the white man reggae-ness of the Police as well. Something that Stuart does a lot that you don't hear in Rush is that same waywardness and you know, four-limb independence on the ride cymbal. You don't hear Neil do that. But you do hear him on the hi-hat all the time because Neil's more of a military drummer, a rigid kind of thing. He's building it into his structure for the verses and the choruses and stuff. So you don't hear that slightly freeing thing that Stuart does a lot more of, which is the ride thing. But yeah, that one trademark that is totally his is that complication on the hi-hat all the time.
J.K. Bacca 41 says, I bought Moving Pictures and Signals at the same time, and they were the only Rush albums I had for a long time, so I do have a special love for Signals. I always dug Countdown as well. It was a song full of hope for the fledgling space shuttle program.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, it's neat that they wrote a song about that. And, you know, these are always, you know, the war really is between Moving Pictures and Signals. And, you know, Moving Pictures is great start to finish. It's a little more guitar-y, it's a little more lively, but I love that sophistication that you get with Signals. So, yeah, a lot of people during that, this is a perfect comment that how, you know, people buy albums, you know, at a certain magical period in their life. It's usually that late teens kind of thing, 15 to 20. But also, if you're just discovering bands, you might buy two albums that are adjacent to each other. So it's interesting hearing people get that.
Right. Chris Teague says, Signals isn't a bad album, but I wouldn't argue it being their best. It was the album that introduced more keyboards and lighter fare that the band would delve further into on future albums. Unfortunately, it also had connotations to me when I reflect on it. To me, Rush will always be proggy, heavy, hard rock band, not a keyboard rock band. So Farewell to Kings is the album that stands out for me as their best. It is representative of their best era and has some of their strongest tracks. Regardless, enjoy the show as always.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I know Chris. Chris buys my books from me, which is very nice. yeah, that period, for the ardent purist Rush fans, starting more or less 2112, maybe you want to even make a break there because there's the live album All the World's a Stage, and then you make a break and start with Farewell to Kings. You go basically Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres feel like a pair, and Permanent Waves and Moving Pictures to some extent feel like a pair, but also you could pair up Moving Pictures and Signals as well. They have a similarity to them. And it's true, yeah, it got a little more keyboardy at that point. Not nearly as keyboardy as it was going to get. Power Windows, Hold Your Fire. Big, big, big difference. But no, I still stand by it. Signal's favorite one.
Cool. And that wraps it up for the comments for our Rush episode. So stick around, check us out on social media, and we'll see you in the next episode.